for everyone that was worried about the Jaguars.
We don't got to worry about the Jaguars anymore, Stevie, because the Buffalo Bills handled business. So, Stevie, cold open time. Who are you giving one of these to, right? Who are you giving a game ball to?
Wow. Okay. I'm going to give a game ball. I got to go with Josh. It's clear as day. You got to go with Josh. And this is why I would consider somebody else, but I think about the injuries. It looked like he had a head injury. He had a foot injury coming in. He had a knee hyperextension while he scored a touchdown. The tush push touchdown, which was okay. You give props to the lineman also, Reggie also, but the effort that he did, that he put forward, I'm gonna give it to Josh Allen. What about you?
I think there's two answers, right? Josh is the big one,
right?
But I'm gonna say I call him the longest tenured Bill, even though he technically was away for a year. But Trey White, right? Because you talk about injuries. Trey White dealt with an Achilles in his career. He dealt with a torn ACL. It looked like the best was behind him. Even at the start of this year, it was like, what does he have left? And he turned the clock back. From week 6 on, he has been shut down. And yesterday, not only did he have the tip that led to the game-sealing interception, he saved a touchdown, breaking up a pass to Brenton Strange. He had, I think, 3 or 4 pass breakups in that game. And, we were worried about corner, right? We were like, no Max. How is this going to look? And Trey White was like, don't worry. You got 2 lockdowns with me and with Christian Benford here. So, two of the Bills that really, I would say the 2 biggest Bills that of this era, right? Trey White got it started, the first pick by Bean and McDermott. Obviously, everything that Josh Allen brings. Those 2 being the 2 that kind of solidified the victory yesterday, Stevie, I thought was really cool.
Yeah, no, I like the fact that we play well off each other, because usually I would come with somebody different, but only Josh was coming to mind. I don't know why I wasn't thinking about my DB guys, but he was right there ready for it. I love it.
If you would have said Trey White, I would have said Josh. There's a couple other guys, but to me, I thought those were the cream of the crop yesterday. But we have a lot to discuss today, Stevie. The Bills victory. We got Drew Buckets joining us. And if you guys want to join us, 1-888-585-7425. Call us, celebrate with us. But first, Sammy, hit it.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. Bills Banter with Stevie Johnson and Michael F. Florio.
Fitzpatrick fires. Oh, caught! Steve Johnson! Touchdown, Buffalo! Why so serious?
The sickest Buffalo Bills podcast.
Allen will run it himself. He pumps. Got some daylight, hurdles to the end zone.
It's gonna be sick.
Stevie, you were confident heading into this game. I know you paid respects to the Jags on this pod, but in talking to you coming into this game, you were very confident that this was a game that the Bills were going to handle business.
Yeah, man, I felt like the Jacksonville Jaguars did what they were supposed to do with the schedule that they had, and it was impressive for them to handle that business. So they got the accolades and all the press that they deserved. But when you put it up against Josh Allen, a Josh Allen-led team, no matter if the team was better or worse, but what Josh Allen put forth in playoffs, in regular season games, you've seen like a development or a different level. And it was more so to me as if the Jaguars would still have something to prove. And if they would have beat the Buffalo Bills, I think that would have been a stamp for the Jacksonville Jaguars as a collective team to say, oh, yeah, now we're here. We've arrived. And I think they understood that. I don't know why everybody else didn't see it. They was just feeding off of the 8 wins, you know, and how Trevor Lawrence was looking. But you got to give the Buffalo Bills credit overall. And for this game, you got to give Babbage and that defense credit for attacking in the way they mixed up and played their parts.
They were able to confuse Trevor Lawrence. Look, I know the D-line struggled to get pressure. They did have a lot of batted balls. Like, that is a known issue in Trevor Lawrence's game, and they were able to take advantage of it. I know it goes down as 2 interceptions, but there was like 3 or 4 others that they
been like
just
4, right?
like one of the first drives of the game. I think it was their first drive, the Jags. Like one fell right there. Benford almost got one. Like there was opportunity for them, and I think a lot of credit goes to, like you said, to Babbage and McDermott, because I've been critical of those guys, but they're out there with a defense dealing with injuries, with a defense that hasn't lived up to the expectations this season, and I'd easily say that they're playing their best ball the last 3, 4, 5 weeks, but that might have been their best performance of the season, because they got the stops when they needed to. They got the turnovers when they needed to. And like that 4th down where they stopped Trevor Lawrence, to me, that was maybe the most important play of the game. And it was my guy, Shaq Thompson. They cannot, I don't look, if Bernard is healthy or not next week, Shaq has to keep playing big snaps.
Yeah, he definitely has to. I definitely want to have Bernard back, though, because I think he would have made a big change in a couple of possessions that the Jaguars kind of crept through with their run game. We gave credit to ETN Jr., and he came out and did what he was supposed to. Both of those running backs are explosive, and they're going to be really tough to handle in the future. But at the same time, we also have a bright future with our defensive line. And I speak of Deion Walker and the way he's moving and controlling guys in that line. He may not be getting the tackles or getting all the way there to get the full stat, but he is making a presence. And I believe in the future, as we go, I think we'll grab another D lineman or considering Ed Oliver, right?
Yeah.
Maybe we got some more info from Buckets. Yeah. But I heard something about Oliver maybe coming back. But yeah, our D line is going to be cool also. Hopefully we can develop other guys that we have.
We won't see Ed Oliver on the practice report because he's technically still on IR, but they opened up his window, which means he will be practicing this week. That there is a chance that he could be active come Saturday. It feels like if not Saturday, if there is a game beyond Saturday, I feel pretty confident that Big Ed O, who, let's not forget, we didn't really get much Ed Oliver this year, but that game against the Ravens was maybe the best game he's ever played. Like, he dominated from start to finish. Speaking of that, we're going to bring on our guy, Mr. Buckets, and get thoughts from the community in a second. I have 2 questions for you real quick, Stevie. First, how was Vegas?
Vegas was solid, man. Shout out to the Sin City Bills backers. Big shout out to the Office Bar management, Naked City Pizza, my guy, Chef Chris, representing Buffalo. It was so cool. We had people from everywhere, pulling up in Vegas, and we all enjoyed it. Had a good time. We missed you, man. We missed you like you pulled up to Oceanside with us.
I gotta try to get out there. If not Vegas, I'm hoping maybe San Fran in a couple of weeks. I'm going to be there either way, but I'm hoping the Bills are there with us, Stevie, because I know we're both gonna be there. But the other thing I wanted to ask you real quick, I thought, and I've been on record before saying I thought the scariest Josh Allen was the one where they were just like 2021, 22, where they were just like, go be Superman, put the cape on at all times. We're going to abandon the run and just let you do your thing. Like, I thought I had never seen a more dominant football player before. But I think yesterday's version of Josh Allen was even scarier because he's not forcing things anymore. He is methodically going through his progressions, going through your defense before the snap, identifying things. And I really like that the linemen were being very vocal. There was one snap late in like the final drive where 2 of the linemen are like turning around, being like, "Do you see?" And I'm like, "Yes." Like, everybody communicating like that. But Josh, he was taking what they were giving him, right? I'll take the 5-yard play, the screen to Shakir, stuff like that. But then I'm gonna lull you to sleep with these plays, and then I'm gonna hit the dagger when it's there. That throw to Brandon Cooks was one of the best of his career, I thought, with pressure in his face. If Josh plays like this, it's hard to see because he's not giving extra chances away or giving the defense extra chances. He's taking it every time he gets the ball.
Yeah, you're seeing it, Guru. You're seeing our elite playmaker turn into an elite playmaking game manager. And that's all I've been saying. Like, there's no shade at being a game manager. You know, keeping the ball away from the opposing team's offense or forcing the opposing team offense to play perfect because you're taking the time away, getting first down after first down. The great thing about being an elite playmaking game manager, you have the ability to, instead of throwing that ball away quick like Aaron Rodgers would and live on to the next down, maybe he will keep it once or twice. But that once or twice that Josh keep it and sacrifice that 2nd and 10, it might be 30 yards down the field or it may be a touchdown. So the 50-50 is, I mean, is glass half full for you, because when you do get in those situations where you get sacked or you don't throw it away, and now we're 2nd and long, gets us into 3rd and long possibly, it's like, man, what is going on? Why are we calling certain calls? You got to live and die with at least 2 of those with Josh, as opposed to a Jalen Hurts. Let's talk about the Eagles. If he's throwing it away every single time, now you're kind of putting the pressure on your team to be perfect, you know, and that brings me to the Buffalo Bills team as a whole, which is pretty cool how that facility got the vibes going on in there, because like you pointed out, the offensive line was communicating like, hey, you see this, and they were talking. So that means the coach is giving the players the ability now to, hey, manage the game with each other. And that's taking a lot of pressure off of Josh, which like, I don't know if everybody else saw it, but I was saying it. Josh needs to ascend to that level of a game manager to go up to the line and say, okay, I see this and this. With the line talking like that, it helps him. So like this team, the cohesion is kind of crazy. And that's on both sides, which is pretty special. Not to mention an X factor in Ray Davis, who I thought was going to be the X factor, which was special teams. But to have that bonus, I mean, the writing seems to be written on the wall. We just got to continue to doing what they do and doing their job.
I want to give credit to Joe Brady. I know we've been very critical of his play. And for like the first half of the game in our text chat, we were like, what are they doing? But he dialed up some real nice plays when they needed it. In the second half, we were seeing them cook downfield. And to me, look, James Cook is the man, right? But he was held in check yesterday. And all year long, when the Bills haven't been able to run the ball, it's usually led to a loss. So for them to face a team as talented as Jacksonville, that I don't think they were the best team in the AFC. I just thought they were the team that matched up the best. Like everything that the Jags do well is to stop the Bills' strengths, you know? So I thought just matchup-wise, that was a harder one, and it didn't matter.
Yeah, because the Bills aren't one-dimensional. You know, they're not the team that only depends on either you're going to have 300 yards passing or you're going to have 200 yards rushing. It's either or. It's always been a balance where Cook will have 100 and something or maybe 75. Allen might have 120 passing, but 2 touchdowns with 40 big momentum yards from rushing. You know, so the balance is kind of is the Bills are in favor on a lot of and against a lot of teams, because if you, like you showed, you shut down James Cook, which is one of our dimensions. I mean, you call that shutdown, but he didn't have negative yards. It was 3 yards. It just wasn't more explosive yards that we're used to.
Yeah, it for James Cook standards, that was a down game.
Indeed.
But his standards are best in the league this year.
And no turnovers. You know, the Bills didn't have any turnovers. So that was another thing that, you know, that hurts a team. If you have a turnover like that, your chances go down at least 25 or 30%. And yeah, the Bills, they were able to manage.
You speak of percentages. The Bills, per Next Gen Stats, gained. They went from 27% chance of victory to 77% chance of victory on that 10-yard tush push. It is the biggest win percentage change on a quarterback rush in history. Yeah.
Hey, and you know what's crazy? That they voted against that. I seen our guy Schefter say that the Bills were one of the teams to vote against the tush push.
McDermott said yesterday he would vote against it again.
Interesting. Very interesting. I think it's
Right, but we're going to bring Drew on in 1 second. I did see yesterday you had that sweet victory on you. You had it out in Vegas. So, look, it's a victory Monday, and there is no better way to celebrate than with the sweet victory from Cigar Mafia. You can head over to any of their 3 locations, Orchard Park, Buffalo. You could also head over to cigarmafia.com. And Stevie, it's not just cigar, right? You should buy one because you want to celebrate these Bills wins, but you could get the Allen cap, you could get the SJ13 gloves, so much to get over at cigarmafia.com.
Exactly. And don't forget to use the discount code Stevie13 on the checkout. So yeah, if you don't smoke cigars, yeah, there's still a ton of other things and memorabilia out there that you guys can get in collectibles. It's pretty cool. So make sure y'all check out the site at cigarmafia.com. Hey, big shout out to our guys too. Look, they booked Vegas this week, last week, maybe 3 weeks ago. So that's how confident and wild that our Cigar Mafia sponsor.
Love it.
Are. Yeah,
we need them to book one for the week after now. Keep showing that kind of confidence. But Stevie, I know our guy is chomping at the bit here. So let's bring on Drew Buckets to join us.
Buckitos. Yeah.
In the Buckets household this week.
Hey, what's up, fellas? Sorry, I had to check my pulse because according to my smartwatch yesterday, with about 2 minutes to go in the game, I technically died. So I don't know what was going on. My SOS messages were going off. My heart rate was spiking through the roof. Hey, it was loud over here, fellas. How y'all doing? Happy Victory Monday.
Big for you. You had a big victory on Saturday as well. Your daughter and her basketball team went balled out. So it was a big weekend in the Bucket household.
Shutout victory for the Indiana Fever Junior YMCA League there. Shout out. And she did big things, man. I'm proud of her. Proud girl dad right here.
And so me and Stevie gave out a game ball. Who would you be giving yours out to?
My game ball has to go out to JA17. I know it's already been said. Stevie already took it, but that dude put out life and limb. He did not care. He was shaking his hand 1,000 times. He, after he hit it on his helmet, he hyperextended his leg. He did not care. His helmet got jammed into him. They were hunting him yesterday. It was
a clear game plan, in my opinion, that they wanted to take Josh as every chance they got.
100%. Go out, full whistle, even after, it was whatever. So
we've given Josh his flowers. We've given Trey White his flowers. What about Khalil Shakir, who 12 catches, most by a Bills wide receiver in a playoff game ever? Only Thurman Thomas has more in a game. I think what Shakir did goes a little under the radar, guys, because Kincaid scored the touchdown. Brandon Cooks had the big catch at the end of the fourth quarter. But Shakir was cooking, and that spin move that he hit when it was 3rd and long and they threw that screen, I'm telling you guys, I was ready to text the group, what are we doing here throwing a screen? But he hits literally an unblocked defender. He hits with the nastiest spin move I may have ever seen.
Khalil's a pro.
The community was, and you said it, you kind of mentioned it. We're throwing screen passes. We're running up the middle. We're texting. What are we doing? But you know what this was? This was a trust the process Buffalo Bills game. And the reason I say that, and I'm giving Joe Brady his flowers too, is because that man had set this up weeks ago. And if you look at those plays, everyone was tired of the screens when they didn't work. But when they work, they work. And Shakir was ready. The team was ready. Everyone pulled where they needed to go, and they were getting the yards needed. And the community flipped, and they were like, wait a minute. We just did a screen pass on 3rd down, and it worked? What are we doing? So, shout out. That was huge.
Stevie, I want to ask you this, right? Because Josh gets all the credit all the time, right? James Cook this year has been getting a lot of credit. And the receiving room, admittedly, we've been a part of it, right? Has just been getting dunked on all year and criticized and everything. Khalil Shakir to me has that dog in him, like a Josh and like a James. Like he knows how far he has to get, and he is going to get that far. Like he refuses to give up. And to me, I think he plays his best in the biggest moments.
Well, I mean, he plays his best whenever he gets his opportunities, and he's just the way I see it, he consistent. He's even keeled. He don't go too up. He not all the way down, even when he don't get as many targets or don't get those broken tackles. So, he a solid pro. That's why I say that. He a solid pro. He understands the offense. He understands that sometimes he might get 12, sometimes he might get 6 with 40, but sometimes he might get 6 with 120. But like he know this offense, and he's been there when Gabe and Stephon was the man. So I think he has a appreciation for his position and his role on the team. And I mean, he plays it well. He's not being asked much. He's playing it well. We got some chat in there. What that chat say? It went by kind of quick.
They said Chocolate Girl said not just Josh. They were playing to take players out. That hit to Gabe was nasty. And shout out to Gabe, man. Hoping for a speedy recovery. Unfortunately, to torn ACL, we will not see him the rest of the playoffs. Probably won't see him till late next season, but or middle of next season, because ACL is like a 9-month thing now. But yeah, it was unfortunate hit. It was unfortunately testing the depth there, but and it still will be, right? Because the Bills have 4 healthy receivers right now, so like it is a big loss.
Yeah. Thanks for the chat. And I honestly don't think they were trying to take guys out, necessarily. They plan to intimidate though, so the hits that they take, they're not letting loose. I saw Josh's leg get kind of stuck between the guy, and you would think like, why is Allen Hines, pulling him back like that? But it's like he's just trying to stop him from getting in the end zone,
Mm-hmm.
So it looks dirty, but it's not. And then I think some of the talk is just like intimidation factors to carry over into the offseason to feel good about themselves, But yeah, I don't think nobody's out there really trying to hurt anybody.
I don't think they were trying to hurt him. I think they were trying to make them think twice, right? Like especially Josh Allen. I think like, oh, you want to run? You think twice about it now, because someone called him the Wario to Josh Allen's Mario, and I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that's pretty creative. I was hoping we drafted him when we had the opportunity to also, but we didn't.
What about Brandon Cooks? Because that dude, I know the one was a drop. The one that was pass interference, I thought it was a catch, but by rule of law, it was a drop. The one that he caught with a pass interference, like where he's upside down, they were just like, oh yeah, there's PI on that, so we're just gonna move. That catch was amazing. And then obviously, I give more credit to the throw, Allen putting that throw where it had to be with the free rush right in his face, but Brandon Cooks bringing a new element to this offense is now something that teams who didn't have to worry about for 18 or for like 15 weeks of the season now suddenly have to worry about.
Yeah, another one I called. I knew he was going to be the one. So it's like with him getting comfortable, that's everything that we needed. That guy who can be that safety valve. Did you see the catch on the side where it seemed like he was completely covered, but he was comfortable? And Josh has that target and that accuracy and the arm power to get it there. So the more comfortable Josh will get in managing these downs, I mean, you're going to see Cooks more and more getting out that pile, doing some first down signal because he understands how to get in the hole and he has the explosiveness to get there. So you go see more out of Cooks.
Drew, look, that catch was amazing, but I thought that was an absolute dart, right? Like the touch it had to float over the jumping defender and then land where only Cooks could catch it, who he had a dude draped all over him. Like, it was impressive.
We've seen time and time again. I mean, look at the throw he made in the Bengals game, right? To the touchdown. Like, that was ridiculous. This man can do anything and make any throw. And he threw it off his back foot with a dude in his face. Like, No, how many people honestly, like realistically, can make that throw? 2, maybe. Like in practice, like not in a game. I'm talking practice. Like Josh does it in a game with a dude in his face. Like he just puts it where it has to be every single time, and when it matters most too. Like it's unbelievable. He's just unbelievable.
Hey, look, they might. Speaking of receivers, right? So right now they have Cooks, Shakir, Shavers is up in the air, Coleman. Then there's Mecole Hardman on the practice squad. They opened up the practice window for Curtis Samuel. Stevie, you might not be able to go to Vegas this weekend. They might need you in Denver.
I was gonna say you've been running routes. You've been stretching those hammies.
Y'all say Shavers is up in the air. Man, I feel like he's presentable. If you need to get that hitch, same with him. Keon, Cooks, Khalil. That's 4 right there. Gabe is out, obviously. You say Mecole. You would have Mecole for punt return and receiver, right?
Yeah. But Shavers is dealing with the knee now, so they're going to monitor him.
Okay. Well, yeah,
and they
that's
said
different.
it's TBD right now. Like they don't even have a time frame on it. Like I don't know. Like Kincaid had a walking boot on too, but that was just precautionary. He's apparently good to go. So
hey,
I mean,
another thing. I don't think it's something to overthink because if anything, they'll just add another tight end to the roster or another, another running back, and just go crazy like that. Yeah.
I like that down the stretch, man. They were going 12 personnel. Like they were there. And it was weird too, right? Like there was one where I don't remember exactly. I got to go watch it back. But like Kincaid was outside and Knox was inside on the same side.
Yeah.
I was like, they are getting creative. And it's look, we've all been very critical of Joe Brady. If he was saving plays in his bag for this time of year, I'm cool with it. Just get here, right? That's all I want. Oh,
did you hear the remarks from Liam Cohen?
What did Cohen say?
He said they were so confused with the personnel on both defense and offense. They were things that they hadn't even put on film yet. And they were like, I don't know how to defend this right now. I don't know what's happening. Like you said, with Kincaid outside, Knox inside, things on the defense where the people were aligned differently. And I'm sure Mookie can talk about this when he joins us. But like Liam Cohen just put he's like, hands up, man up. I don't know what we can do about that. Like they were showing things on film that we'd never seen before. So and credit to them because that's huge. Yeah.
It's going to make it hard for Denver, especially I think the Bills are a tough matchup for Denver because Denver's weaknesses are across the middle with tight ends and stuff, which the Bills can exploit. But their strength is Patrick Surtain is going to take away your best receiver, right? He's going to make it a 10-on-10 game. Who are you going to do that to? Brandon Cooks? Cool. Shavers? Cool. Like, it doesn't matter because he's not going to be on Shakir. Because Shakir's the screen guy and the slot and stuff. Maybe we get a little bit there, but it kind of takes their best player and makes it where he doesn't get to do what he does best. But we want you guys to call in, right? 1-888-585-7425. Celebrate with us. It's Victory Monday. The mood is high. The vibes are immaculate. And we have a caller right now joining us. So I'm sorry, I don't know your name, caller, but I'm guessing you're Bills Mafia. How are you feeling today?
What's up, caller?
Well, unfortunately, I am not Bills Mafia, but Florio, you do know who I am. My name's Fernando.
Oh, what's up, Fernando?
Fernando, what up, though?
What's going on, Stevie, and everyone over there? Drew, I think, as well, right?
What's going on?
What you got for us, Nando?
Well, for instance, obviously, hopefully your Bills pass over to the Broncos, so Patriots and Bills AFC championship matchup. But I do want to ask you guys, what's your thought, of course, with the Bills running game? Didn't work out that last week, not so much. Gabe Davis now out for the season with the torn ACL. What is your thoughts on what needs to happen for you guys to pass the Broncos and maybe even still make it to that Super Bowl?
I'll start this one off. Fernando, I feel like the run game, it still worked. It just wasn't as explosive as people were used to because when you look at it, Josh scored 2 touchdowns. It was multiple possessions where they were going forward. It was 3 to 4 yards, and that's all you need. 4 yards and 2 plays is 8 yards. That gets you third and manageable. And now you have Josh to obviously do the rest. So, you know, I feel like the team is more than, like we talked about, one dimensional. And if you have a multi-dimensional team, it's hard to play against, especially in the playoffs when every possession pretty much counts if you don't turn the ball over. What you got, Guru?
Well, first, Drew, you have anything to add there?
I was going to say, I just like Stevie said, it worked well for what it was, right? We knew it was going to be a hard matchup. We knew they had the number one rushing defense in the league for a reason. They shut down everyone pretty much going into this game. So we knew it was going to be a slog, but we made it work and we utilized it to work for us. Like I said, Josh with the 2 touchdowns, rushing touchdowns, that's huge. And we emphasize their weaknesses otherwise. So I think it worked.
So I think yesterday was actually a great thing for the Bills because it showed them that they can win without James Cook and the running game having to be special. And it was the worst matchup, right? Like the number one ranked defense, run defense. And in fact, 11 times in NFL history, a rushing champion has played the number one rushing defense in the playoffs. That rushing champion has never ran for 90 yards in any of those 11 games. So it's not like what we saw yesterday was the first time or anything. In fact, the defenses tend to dominate, and the Jags D-line has a lot of size, and they're quick, and they close holes quickly. They're flying around getting after the ball. The thing that I feel good about is that the Bills are not going to face a run defense that good the rest of the way because no one was better, right? But for Denver, their D-line is smaller than the Jags, right? Like the Bills have a lot of size on that Broncos D-line. And we saw that come into effect last season in the playoffs. If you guys remember, I'm going to pull up the game now, but James Cook ran for $120, I want to say.
It was over 100, yeah.
So I just pulled it. He ran for $120 and a touchdown. Josh Allen ran for 46. And the O-line was just kind of able to have its way with that Broncos D-line, which then forces them to have to do other stuff, right? What do you have the linebacker coming in? Like, what do you do there? And then it kind of forces you to pick your battle, right? Because if you're worried about Cook up the middle, play action is going to eat you alive all day, or Josh could play action and roll out. It just opens up so much that I think the Bills being able to show we can go against a great defense like the Jags, and I thought their defense was as advertised, and move the ball without the running. And I thought Ty Johnson was so missed yesterday, right? Like,
yeah.
There was a lot of James. I wanted them to throw the ball more to James Cook, and after a few targets, I was like, it's pretty evident why Ty Johnson gets those snaps over James Cook. I thought he was missed. The hope is that he can be back this week.
Right.
Hey, Fernando,
and some of those
what's your football community?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, he's a Patriot fan. I can tell you right now.
Oh yeah, I'm a big Patriots fan over here.
Well, how did you feel about that game with the Chargers? I feel like the Chargers had opportunity to put y'all to sleep early, but they didn't capitalize. How did you feel watching that game?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't capitalize. They didn't really. Luckily, our defense stepped up. That's the biggest thing because our offense was, not the greatest. But I am nervous going into the next game because if we play the way we played and the defense doesn't step up and can't pressure, whether it's Aaron Rodgers or C.J. Stroud, then we could be in trouble. But I think if we do move on into the AFC Championship, it's going to be a tough game because I will say I don't want to play your Bills. I will be honest. But Broncos as well. It's tough sledding. I liked yesterday's game. I wish it was a little bit better for the offense, but defense wins championships. No.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. Thanks for your time, Fernando. And we feel the same way about your Patriots. Remember, y'all beat the Buffalo Bills when we were at our hottest points, and we broke out our icy rivalry uniforms. So y'all always a threat. But hopefully y'all not too much of a threat when we do meet, if we do meet.
Yeah, it feels like a crash course, right? And shout out to you, Fernando. I'm sure we'll be texting some point soon. I'd say good luck to your Patriots. We all know I would not be meaning it. But we did get an interesting comment here from Chocolate Girl. And Stevie, I want to throw this your way because me and Drew would be speculating. You've actually been the man in the arena in Denver. But Chocolate Girl says most people are concerned about the altitude and think they should go up early to get used to it. I'm not concerned, but I'm curious of your thoughts. And I would be remiss if I didn't point out, Stevie, that you, in one of your games in Denver, you went for 80 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, and the thing is, I wouldn't think about it too much, but it is a thing. It definitely is a thing. It's one of those feelings where maybe you're like running a mile, maybe you're doing some jogging, and then your heartbeat is just a little bit faster than what it normally would feel like, for the amount of work you're doing. And the reason why it's not as much of an issue is because these athletes they're always going, so they're pretty trained to always feel that type of feeling and know how to calm themselves down, so that's why it won't be as much of an issue, but it is something that can be acknowledged. Here's another thing that was good that Chocolate Girl brought that up. I was thinking it's not going to matter with our quarterback because he played in Wyoming.
Yeah.
Now, Wyoming. I can remember one time on my high school visit, we was all out there in Wyoming, and one of the guys was from, I think, Texas, and he was jogging down the street, one of the recruits, and his nose started bleeding, and he didn't even notice it, and it's like it does matter. It is something. So that's just something to go along with everybody that's thinking it might get to Josh. I don't think so at all because he spent multiple years and seasons in that level.
I read today that Wyoming is 2,000 feet higher than Denver. So, I'll tell you this: a few years ago, I was road tripping across the country. I stayed in the Rocky Mountains, a little bit higher than Denver. I got elevation sickness. Like, it is no joke.
Real, yeah.
So it will present a challenge. But guys, while we're going to get Thursday to talk all about Broncos, right? While we're relishing this win over the Jags, I just want to name check a couple guys who I thought played really well, and we haven't really mentioned just yet. Cole Bishop, that not only that pick at the end, but I thought he was all over the place. Shaq Thompson, I never want him to leave the field again. Matt Prater coming. Like, guys, we spent 10 minutes on the show last week talking about Cam Little and all the kicking and stuff. And it was Matt Prater that was the better kicker yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you say it like that, but we're not surprised, though, Banter community. We're not surprised. We just was comfortable in our guy. If it was going, we just didn't know if he was going to be able to go. That was the thing. Did you guys see the tweet where someone was like, this is the same person, and it's Matt Prater his rookie year looking like Malibu's Most Wanted, and then Matt Prater this year looking just like beat up and stuff. Like, it's so funny. He has been around the block and then some, and I don't know about you guys, though. Each one of his kicks scared the hell out of me because they started very left and then just right hooked.
Hey, whatever gets the job done, as long as it goes through those goalposts, I don't care.
Well done.
On that extra point, though, when he first kicked it, the one at the end, I was like, no! Oh, okay. Like,
yeah. Well, speaking of the kicking game, I mean, we spent, like you said, 10 minutes on it. There was a huge controversy at the end of the first half when it came down to kicking.
Yeah, what happened there?
So the clock was running out. They were rushing up. They said they had 4 seconds to get the playoff. The clock hit zeros on the TV, and apparently it wasn't synced. And they said they got the snap off in time, or the center's hand was moving. And if you have to go into super duper slow mo, whatever, to see if a hand was moving, you're all doing too much. Like, it didn't matter, thankfully, because the quote unquote best kicker in the league, which, we gave him his flowers last time, he missed it. So it didn't matter. And those points turned out to be massive because we only won by 3.
Huge.
But I mean, that was instant karma. The community, it was trending at one point in a matter of seconds. What was it? What ball? Don't lie,
my boy.
So I know, Drew, me and you were pretty actively texting at that point in the game. Stevie was out in Vegas. Stevie, I would say you were the more calm one of me and Drew and yourself. What was your reaction when that was? Because I was like, no, it's 0. Like, what are we doing here? What? Because you're always like, it'll be like they'll make the most of it.
Yeah, no, it was the same way because there's always time. There's still time left. I just felt like how is this happening right now? Like why is this situation happening? And how is it always something so small and kind of out of our control, but it's on like a referee to make, and some of it was, it was kind of fair though, when you look at it from both sides. Like even I think Josh had one where it was kind of close, and then Trevor Lawrence also had one where it was kind of close. It was like they was calling it both ways, so it was just a part of the game and entertainment.
Outside of that portion of the game, whatever, because it also took way too long. Like I'm a big believer, if you can't figure it out in like a minute, you go with the call on the field.
Oh yeah, it was the automatic line first down where we saw. I believe it was a first down for us, but they called it a down or something. Yeah, yeah.
Trevor Lawrence's shin went down. They gave him the first down. They couldn't use replay assist because they said it was first down on the field. Then we had to use a challenge flag, which we shouldn't have had to use a challenge flag because that could have bit us later on in the game. But McDermott finally threw a real challenge flag, and it worked out. Yeah, he was right there with the official, though. He was like, I'm going to throw this. Just wait. And then she was like, you better throw it now, and he did. So, and it worked out. But like, there were so many moments in that game where it was like, we are leaving it up to the officials, who are leaving it up to further officials, who are leaving it up to New York, and it's like, why? Like the players are right there. So,
I will say, so watching, I'm like, no, shin is down, and then on the Josh one, I'm like, no, he's beyond it. We get the perk of seeing it in a very slow, but I would take the way the game yesterday was officiated any day of the week, right? Like the refs, like a spot or two might have had to get changed, but they were not putting their fingerprints on the game. They were letting the players dictate it. And I see Jags fans being like, oh, that was PI on Trey White at the end of the game. They were letting them play physical. And if you are a Jaguars fan, you should not be complaining about physicality because there's clips going around of numerous Jag players falling on Josh Allen when he's on the ground. That could have been 15 every time. So, like, I thought the refs called it down the middle, very concerned. And it was the most physical game of the weekend, but the refs let it be that way for both teams.
Yeah, fair. That's a fair assessment, brother. I really don't have nothing much else to say because even with the play where Josh Allen Hines fell on Josh's head, it did from slow motion angle. It looked like it is more malicious, but I mean it's the momentum play, energy play. He's a high motor guy, and you want to hurt the opposing team. You don't go out to hurt them, but you want to have them hurt so that you don't have enough power to finish a game like Josh did. So it's just a fine line between it, and I think the referees played it well.
Stevie,
considering they're following the rules.
I know Bills fans are very serious about their Bills. Is it time for our favorite segment?
Yeah, we ready for some Why So Serious?
Let's do it.
Hit it.
Why so serious?
Hey, our Why So Serious segments for everybody that was out there doubting on the Buffalo Bills that the Jaguars, it was their year. Come on, man. Hey, the joke's on you. Why so serious? Yeah, coming from the Banter squad, the Banter whole community, because, we wasn't worried over here. Well, one of our co-hosts was slightly worried when we saw some guy get iced out, but, it's all good. It's all good. We here.
I was a little nervous, but I think we kind of touched on it at the start. Drew, I want to get your thoughts on here too, man. I thought McDermott and Babbage called their ass off yesterday. It was one of their best performances in the McDermott era, I think.
Man, look, wait, before you go, but Guru, you around all of the pro analysts out there at the network, and all of them was talking about Jaguars, so I understand how it kind of consumed you a little bit. But you gotta just stay focused and locked in, bro.
I hope I hope because the Bills opened up just like last week as 1.5 favorites on the road. I hope that flips again. I want everyone to spend the week telling us how Josh has to get it done and there's no excuses, and how the big bad Denver Broncos defense and Sean Payton, because look, they're great. I'm not going to take it away from them, but please keep doubting this team. Please keep picking against them. Stay consistent, right? You did it all year. You did it all week. Don't change now. Stay consistent. And I don't know about you guys. I prefer it that way. I do not like when everyone is picking the Bills.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, they go be fresh. They go be fresh out there in Denver. It's gonna be the air go be crisp, like Chocolate Girl pointed out. You know, so they go be moving at it. They go be like on clouds. I ain't gonna lie. And then you gotta think the Denver Broncos are a man-style defense. They're not like a zone coverage swarm to you. They're man-style, and then they react and they got athletes to go swarm. But that's already too late, considering we got guys, tight ends, that can get open versus man. We got a great offensive line that can keep a quarterback comfortable on his first and slightly to his second read. And then you got a quarterback that can make things happen. What I want to see different is on our first down, not on our first drive. Yeah, we want to give the handoff and do our toss and do our things up until like the first quarter and a half, I would say. But when we do get the ball, our defense do get a stop, I think we need to come out more aggressive with that play action and then get it to our intermediate route or something like that, as opposed to sticking too much to the run and into James Cook. I think that'll help us out more.
To that end, Stevie, and this is what I meant, and I didn't mean to interrupt earlier when we had Fernando on, but this is where we really missed Ty Johnson this week, because a lot of those Shakir routes and a lot of those routes to Cook, those are the ones that go to Ty Johnson, and he flies. So I think that is going to be, if we can get him back for this week, that's going to be a really big key for our route tree. You know, we can still use Shakir, we can still use James Cook, but having that speed burst with Ty Johnson, who has great hands, I think that's going to be the three-headed monster, you know, laterally and behind to go forward. So I think that's going to be huge. So I didn't mean to interrupt earlier, but that was the point I was trying to make. Is it's huge. But also, real quick, while we're still on the why so serious, you always say there's never a bye week because you're always thinking and planning for the next game. Well, we in the Bills Mafia, we haven't forgot what anything that the Jags have said. Shout out to the Bills social media team, elite level trolling, not only when it comes to where would you rather be, because it's right here, right now, but the grill in the sand, that was fantastic with the Bills win. But hey, for all the Jags fans out there that were super confident in their team, I got a restaurant for you, okay? I got a restaurant for you. If you want to get some post-game wings, I got a great spot. It's called Room 40s. If you don't know about it, Bills Mafia does. They're in every city across the country, wherever you're located, okay? Look up Josh Allen Barstool Room 40, and that's a treat from me to you. We're moving on to Denver, and y'all are at home. So grab your wings, grab your wings, and just take it easy. Enjoy your vacation. You have nothing to worry about now.
On that point, I'll say this. I love that the Bills players, like, look, the chatter's for the fans, right? Like, for the social media team. And they had the receipt video, like Chocolate Girl was talking about in the comments. They had the two troll posts that you were talking about, Drew. But what I love, and I was talking about this on the show. I do a pregame show Sunday mornings, and I was saying it for the Bears, and I kind of spun it forward to the Bills, right? The Bears let the Packers do all the talking all week. And when they won, though, Ben Johnson was very vocal. And I think this Bills team not getting into the chatter and the back and forth and just being like, we don't care. We're ignoring all the noise. We're going to play our game and let our play do the talking. It's the scariest version of the Bills and Josh Allen, in my opinion. They might not be the most talented Bills team, but I think this is the most well-prepared Bills team to go on a run.
The most experienced, like they're the seasoned vets. They're the vets of the playoffs right now, and all the young ones is talking now. The Jaguars are young. Denver Broncos still young in their success. You know, it's all of these teams. Even Houston. Houston is young in their playoff success. So not like they had too much, but yeah, the Bills understand that we'll let our play do the talking. The play that's always been there. We've only lost because of last second or some crazy endings. So, you know, the Buffalo Bills understand that. I think the Bills are definitely favored, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were. Are they favorite going into Denver?
As of right now.
As of right now, yeah. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, you look at Denver, they give up opponents get 18 points per game against them. That's 20 points. That's the minimum for the Buffalo Bills. So you got to add another 2 touchdowns to that and say, okay, that's where the Bills will start if I want to make a bet. Now, will they get more field goals or another touchdown? Is how I see this game going, considering that defense. They give up yards. Momentum plays on quarterbacks when plays break down because they're in man coverage. So I think the Buffalo Bills they should dominate this team also, just like I can't say like the Jags, but yeah.
I think the Broncos might be more talented than the Jaguars. I think the Jags win down to Denver and blew their doors off. So it's a debate, but I think they match up worse than the Jags did because you can run better against them. That is a strength for the Bills. Their best strength is taking away wide receivers. The Bills are like, okay, please do that. We'll keep throwing our running backs and our tight ends. But,
insert 4 tight ends here.
Yeah. Everyone knows, right? The Bills' biggest weakness. It's against the run. And shout out to Liam Cohen. He did just as much, I think, as Sean McDermott to get that win because they were averaging over 8 yards per carry when they gave the ball to ETN or Tootin.
Yeah, they was tripping. While not giving the ball to ETN more and Tootin.
14 carries between the two of them, 30 pass attempts. They average more per carry than per pass attempt. Like,
man, I knew he was dangerous. Them running backs was nice.
Tootin is nuts.
They run hard.
Tootin was the one I was really afraid of because of his explosive. And RJ Harvey is explosive, don't get me wrong. But I put the stats out on Twitter. They get significantly less explosive runs, significantly less yards per carry, specifically on outside carries. Everything goes down, and their stuff rate is way higher since J.K. Dobbins has gone down. Plus, it's made them a lot more one-dimensional. They've had to throw the ball a lot more. Bo Nix kind of struggles against zone coverage. He's also a year 2 quarterback who the disguises and everything that the Bills do maybe the best in the league.
Right.
That's not going to trip up a Patrick Mahomes, you know? We've seen that time and time again. It might trip up Lamar Jackson here and there, but more often than not, it's not. Joe Burrow, same situation. But when you get a second-year quarterback who's only played you guys once, and when he played you, went for 144 yards and a touchdown in a game where he was down multiple scores throughout, I know it's a second year. Everything is different. But I go back to that playoff game from last year where the Bills dropped 31 unanswered points. It was one deep ball to start the game, and the rest of the game was a domination. I go back to that, and I'm like, maybe it won't be that easy. It's in Denver. I get it. But I feel good. Whereas heading into Jacksonville, I was like, this is the matchup that scares me.
Man, yeah, man. I feel like the same thing. The Broncos have to be perfect, and they got to score on almost every possession in order to beat the Bills. And you have to stop the Bills on 3/4 of the game. So, and I don't think that's possible. So another Bills dub on the road, and it's gonna prove that they are the road dogs of the league right now.
Monday afternoon, Stevie's already given you his game pick. Drew, I'm not gonna ask you for a game pick just yet, although I'm pretty sure I know who you're gonna pick on Thursday. Did you have any concerns? Because look, we've been talking a lot of positivity here, right? Outside of injuries, was there any negatives or concerns for you in this game yesterday?
I mean, don't get me wrong. The way we were playing in the first half, I know it was Josh hero ball. And I've said this before, right? I love that Josh can put on the cape. But when everyone, including the announcers of the game, is saying, okay, here comes Josh, here comes the cape, put it on, do what you do. I wish that there were circumstances in which that didn't have to be the case, right? Like, a huge pick six or a huge broken coverage play where, they just run forever and it doesn't have to, it's a Josh 4-yard throw and he goes for 80, right? Like, I would love to see certain situations where that happens to take that pressure off of Josh, but knowing that we have Josh Allen, I was never necessarily worried in the game.
Yeah, so look, there's play calls that coaches call when it's like 3rd and long or second. Let's say there was a penalty on 1st and it turns into 2nd and long. The play that they call on that, where that quick hitch or whatever you get, and it gets you back in the 3rd and 10, they need to call that more on first down early in the game, 1st and 2nd down, because that will help get a lot of pressure off of having to call the right play to the flats or something that's not really getting the defense ready. They're not tricking the defense out just yet.
Right.
So if you utilize those plays where you don't even have to think about nothing else, just pitch and catch, that's moving the sticks and it keeps the offense flowing. And I think that'll help Josh not have to put on the cape, because as we see, when you don't utilize that play and something happens like a hold or something, and then we punt the ball back after knowing that possession was crucial for us to either get 3 points or a touchdown, and we got held up because et cetera, we got to get to that play action and just get it to our slot guy or that hitch. We saw Shavers get one. We even saw Keon get one. Josh got to be comfortable throwing it out there, and I think Cooks is helping Josh get more comfortable on the outside throwing that ball.
I think so too. And I'll say early in the game, when we were complaining about the play calling, even the announcers were being like, every first down is a run to Cook up the middle. Like, it's the same thing. But as the game went on, it was very evident that Brady was he was trying to because the second game, I have to look this up and I'll have the stat when we do Thursday's show. But just from an eyeball test, it felt like the most I've seen Josh Allen play action all year, and it was working.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Beautiful.
And that goes back to what we were talking about when we were playing the Jets and Trubisky was in. We saw a lot of those type similar plays versus the Jets with Trubisky, and the squad was practicing those in week 18, and we saw a bunch of that. And that's what the community noted too. Early on, the community was so flustered, like, here comes, they were calling out the plays on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, before it was happening. And it was just a solid stream all the way down of here's what's coming next. But then later on in the game, it was like, those setup plays where the predictability was there kind of faded, and it was like, oh, okay, wait a minute, hang on. And then Brady got in his bag a little bit, and I was like, okay, look at that little wiggle. Look at that little, different personnel grouping. And, we only had so many players yesterday because of the injuries. And Josh, I don't think he would even admit it, but there were some where if he was to self-scout like he did last week, he would see that Cooks was wide open, Keon was wide open on some, and he got a marginal gain on a scramble for him, but he could have had 25, 30, maybe even a touchdown to Keon at one point.
Yeah. Oh, Keon.
And I'm like, whoa. So if we can give Josh a little bit more time and have those plays develop at the same route, those plays are going to be there because they were awesome. When you have two players on the same route, the route tree, wide open against a really good defense, that's incredible.
So look, yeah, Buckets, you own it, but it's not about getting more time. It's going to be Josh is going to have to trust that those players are going to still be there, and he got to probably let it go just a little bit earlier, with a little bit more air, and knowing that, Cooks is going to be coming across that seam or Keon will. And that's where the evolution, I thought, was broken. When I mean by broken, like broken on a good way to go through with Keon, I thought he would step up into having 1,000-yard season this year, because I thought the trust that Josh displayed with just throwing the ball out to Khalil was with Keon coming into this year. But it showed that it wasn't really there like that. Yeah. But it can get there. And that's why I said the addition of Cooks, making it comfortable, and I'm sure they got more practice reps with Keon, Cooks, and Josh, and obviously going forward, then Keon will be that receiver that we want, because he will get that comfortability from Josh to just throw that ball and let him go get it, which he's shown to make those plays.
And we didn't even utilize our tight ends until late in the game.
Yeah, we didn't.
Yep.
So
That'll be different this week.
That's a whole other level, like we were saying earlier, that we didn't even use them. We had the Kincaid touchdown, obviously, but like we didn't hear Jackson Hawes. We hardly heard of Dawson Knox, and Kincaid only had a couple. So it was all Shakir, and that's all we needed right now. So
this game.
There was only one. I don't know offhand. I got to pull it up. But how many times he threw exactly? But there was only one throw that I wanted back. Right, like there was a couple. So he threw 28 of 35. Right, 80% completion percentage. Of those 7 incompletions, one was the Brandon Cooks one that was a catch that got overturned. One was the unfortunate one to Gabe Davis that hit him in the chest. But if the only throw I saw that I was there were times, Drew, I agree, where he maybe could have taken a chance downfield or something like that. But he threw one to Brandon Cooks downfield where Cooks had a step, and it was just like if he puts a little bit more air on that might go for 6. That was the only throw all game where I was like, ooh, I wish he had that one back. The rest of it, he played. I saw someone comparing it to like when a pitcher throws a complete game shutout. Might have given up a couple of hits here or there, but overall, he was perfect.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you look at what Josh does in the postseason, right? The elevation, like Stevie's been saying, the elevation is insane. First in yards per game, over 300. First in rush yards, over 600, closing in on 700. He's got a 6.5 to 1 touchdown to interception ratio. I mean, he's the only quarterback in NFL history to have multiple games of multiple rushing touchdowns.
Yeah,
you know, in the playoffs. I mean, the accolades just keep going for this guy, and I'm just glad he's on our squad. Like, could you imagine if we had to face this guy?
You know what I say a lot during Bills games, and my wife knows I say this all the time. I always expect to win because we have Josh Allen and they don't. That's literally what I like.
That's so
I told
fair.
my wife the same thing. She looked at me. She's like, "You good?" And I said, "We have JA-17. We're good."
I hate the he can't win in the playoffs narrative because I think he is the biggest playoff riser in the sport. Like, at least at quarterback. I know Mahomes is great, but like Mahomes is doing it with Andy Reid and Spags and Tyreek Hill for some of it and Travis Kelce and like I don't know. I think you look at what Josh did yesterday with who he did it with. Like my friend at work's a big Rams fan and he's arguing that Stafford's better and stuff. And I'm like, look at the conditions here, right? Similar O-line, similar run games, but you guys have maybe the best wide receiver and a great number 2 and the best play caller in the world too. Like, so it's just
West
different,
Coast,
but
playing indoors, like it's so many different variables.
The one thing before I open it up to anything you guys want to talk about before we go, if the Bills are going to win the Super Bowl, I do think the D-line needs to be better.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I see what you mean. You know, I can get a couple more tackles, more maybe
QB
another
hits.
sack or something. Yeah, another hit. Maybe like that hit in the backfield with Saquon, where Deion was right there but missed it.
Yeah.
It's like we want that to be a play made because, you know, that'll just obviously add that confidence in our defense. So I feel you on that.
You can't get cooked on the ground and struggle to get after the quarterback, right? Like you got to do one or the other to win. Right. But maybe the answer's on its way, boys.
We'll see.
You know, one thing before we close it out that we haven't even talked about yet. We've been talking about elevation for Josh. This man is freed right now. He just got a road playoff win. Him and McDermott had never had that before. Josh he doesn't have that stigma anymore.
He
doesn't have to think about that.
Anyway.
I mean, he wouldn't that's just for like plebeian level stuff that I'm sure he doesn't even think about. But like for the community and stuff, like to harp on it and the media to harp on it, they can't anymore. Now they have to say he's only won one, but it doesn't matter. He's got it done because now he can just go out there and ball. He doesn't have to prove anything. He's done it. Monkey off the back, exactly.
He doesn't got to go to Kansas City this year. You know why?
Right.
I also hate that narrative, and I spent time on the show yesterday. The reason why Mahomes isn't in the playoffs and Lamar and Burrow, and who else we want to throw out there? It's because they lost to the Bills this season. I know they lost to other teams as well, but the Bills faced all of these teams head to head and went undefeated. So
Indeed.
it is pretty cool because so he's beaten Burrow head to head. He's beaten Mahomes head to head this year. He's beaten Lamar head to head. He's beaten Drake May head to head this year. Now he gets Bo Nix. And then maybe the rubber match against Drake May, if they get that far, we'll see, or CJ Stroud. But the route might be him beating every single top AFC quarterback this year, outside of Justin Herbert, because he won't get the chance.
Hey, for real. And that's pretty impressive because, like they said, they couldn't get a road victory. Now we may have all road victories plus the Super Bowl being a road thing for him, even though he's a California kid. So look out for that.
And the only stadium he's never won in is Levi Stadium. And where's the Super Bowl?
Here we go.
It's written, man.
It's written.
You can't make a better net. Because, look, the Bills were never going to do it as the preseason favorite, dominate all year, dominate. I thought they were in 2021 and 2022 and 23. That was never – if the Bills are ever going to do it, it's going to be in a year like this where everyone doubts them.
Hey, Church Boy Ray is saying 35-24. Let me see, 24 for Denver. I'm going to go with 17 for Denver. I'm not going to give them that extra touchdown. I'm hesitant to even give them that 17. I might go with 16 or 13, but I like 35. I like 35.
I like the 30s.
I like the 30 numbers, high 27, 30s. Yeah, I could dig that. I missed another one. Was it another prediction in there?
It said after the boring game last night, New England doesn't even scare me.
Oh yeah. So and then think about what's the only NFC team to beat us, right? I believe it was the Eagles.
Eagles.
Did we play Rams this year? I don't believe so, right? Nope.
So
yeah, they're out.
I will say though, Josh Allen has a ton of history of success against the Rams. Like I was there in 2022 when they after the Rams Super Bowl, when it was the kickoff game, TNF. And Stevie, you might have been there as well. You said, right?
Yeah, man, I was in there with a sombrero on playing Where's Stevie? That's SoFi, right? You talking about? Yeah.
Dude, Josh Allen in the second half of that game went off, carried them to victory. And then I know the Rams beat them in SoFi last year, but Josh Allen made history with 6 touchdowns. And his MVP odds increased and stuff there. Plus, the game won't be in SoFi. It'll be in an outdoor stadium, which is look, we're going to find out a lot about the Rams these next couple of weeks, I think, because they're playing the Bears this week in that cold, windy, just like I think we're going to learn about Houston tonight, right? Like, can they put up points because they rely so much on kicking, and it is the hardest stadium.
What about that, chat? They says Monday nights, Pittsburgh Steelers undefeated since 1992. Is it written?
And the Texans are 0-6 in their last Monday night games.
Now I'm really interested because I'm as heavy on their defense. If you can apply pressure with those defensive ends, I feel like you're supposed to dominate a team like this. But when they say since 92, I don't know, man. I don't know what's about it.
Shout out my cousin Mookie, diehard Texans fan since day one. Hand to God, he's been a diehard Texans fan. And he said, if the Texans score 20, watch out. It's a wrap. So and it's been every game. It's good. He said if the Texans score 20, they good. So I don't know. It's going to bend or break tonight. But shout out Mookie. He's a true OG Texans fan, and he said if they score 20, it's a wrap. It's over. Steelers pack up and go home. We'll see you next week. So
I keep joking. Tonight might be first to 12 or 15 wins. Like it's cold, it's windy, and it's 2 offenses that don't. But I do think because look, if this game was in Houston, I don't think Steelers have a chance.
Right. But I feel the same way.
Right.
Elements are the great neutralizer. Like.
Yep.
Hey, the elements are going to be a factor this week. We will talk all about them on Thursday. That's right. We're doing another show Thursday, same time, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, whatever time it is in between that. We'll be live right here, breaking down everything Bills, Broncos. You guys can call in. You can leave your comments, whatever you want to do. We will break that game down from every angle. Stevie, I'm sure you're going to be watching film. Drew, I'm sure you're going to come with a whiteboard the size of my wall with information on it. I've already started
the stats cannon now.
We got Mookie, who unfortunately wasn't able to join us today, but Mookie's there covering the team, talking to them. So everything you need for that game, we will have you covered here. But anything you guys want to say before we say goodbye?
Yeah, let us know in the comments what y'all want to see on our Thursday nights or our Monday preview shows, and we trying to adjust our community to you guys. Hey, Guru, what was our guy name with the Bears? Bears Sick Podcast, right?
Oh, Adam Rank.
Yeah, Rank.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rank. Bears, they doing their thing. So shout out to our partner cast and out there in the Windy City doing their thing. Well done.
That game, look.
Out of it, 3-17, got to give a little bit of credit to that. And shout out to my security guard from Chicago, always giving me sending me messages about how the team doing, and he was calling it out too since the beginning. And it's pretty good to see that the balance is shifting, and we seeing Caleb Williams do well.
I'm happy the Bills didn't need to win the way the Bears did. I know they're like I work with there's a lot of Bears fans out here. My grandma's a lifelong Bears fan. She called me flipping out after the game, but they all thought it was over for much of the night. I don't want to go through that.
Yeah, nah, we over that. That's what I'm saying. We're more seasoned than we're veterans now. We can't let those lulls happen at all.
Nope. Drew, anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
Hey, go Bills. Let's load up the stats cannon for Thursday. I got it. And Jags fans, don't forget to get your wings, all right? Room 40. Look it up.
Shout out to my boy Scott Engel. I see him in the comments. That is one of my mentors, all this in this space. He is a huge Seahawks fan. He said, congrats, see you in the Super Bowl. That would be a fun one, but I don't know. That defense, I don't know. I don't know if I'm rooting to see them there.
See what it do. See y'all on social, man.
We'll be back Thursday, 6 p.m. Come banter with us then. For now, though, Stevie, take us out.
Yeah, handle biz, have fun. We said what we said, and we got our picks in. Make sure y'all stay tapped in with the Sick Podcast, Bills Banter. One love.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast Bills Banter on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.